Folks, welcome to a moment in time. Not just any moment in time, but one of those moments in time where you, as a sports fan, realize to yourself, it's never too early to talk some football. Today is somewhat of a celebration. It is the official 2024 NFL schedule release day. It's like a mild Christmas day for some of us who have been looking forward to matching up dates, scheduling flights and trips to some of these games, looking at who our opponents are going to be, a rundown of week one, which is like another version of Christmas for us sports fans. Today is the day we find all of that out. We talk a little bit about some of the matchups that we know are going to happen. And we also set the table for some pretty spicy preseason predictions. I'm one half of the Mega Powers of Podcasting here, coming to you live from the control center of Nostalgia Mania at Casa de Money. Alongside me, as always, Matt Checkton. What's up, Matt? Got Knicks in 7. Alongside me, as
Welcome,
always,
ladies and gentlemen.
Oscar Money Muniz.
We are live at Worldwide Studios here in Atlanta, Georgia.
What up, Matt? Wait, Worldwide?
I'm Tony Schiavone, along with David Crockett, here for the latest in Worldwide Wrestling, the best that the NWA presents.
You know what's funny? The minute we went live, I just received a notification from Sleeper saying that I'm drafting in 7 days. However, that draft is not going to be in 7 days on the 22nd. It's going to be on the 26th. Our dynasty draft.
Mikey,
So Mikey's
switch it.
We can adjust it and fix it, tinker with it. Nonetheless, excited about that. Excited about this.
He must be watching the Knicks game.
No, Knicks.
It's Knicks in 7 now?
Knicks aren't playing.
Well, I thought it was Knicks in 6, guys.
I said Knicks in 6. I mean, I think even after, more so after the way that they won the last night's game, it looked like Indy was a little bit homesick, and the Knicks pulled through, which I figured they would in MSG. So now Knicks take the 3-2 lead on what has been a very interesting series when you think about it. Also, last night, the Denver Nuggets had to remind people, and I think themselves, hey, we're the fucking world champs. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we really doing here with these guys? They win their third straight. They win their third straight against Minnesota, and unfortunately,
I've always said 7 after 5. Yo, he's been somewhat of a punching bag on this podcast.
Everybody's filing in. Giants fans are checking in.
All right, what we got here?
Mavs in 6 and Steelers suck. What up, bro? I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks.
I will gladly see you October 6th, 8:20, Sunday Night Football, Acra Shores Stadium. Cowboys at the Steelers.
Are we breaking news now? Is that
schedule's out? It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock, folks. You already know. Some of us have had leaks leading up to this point. Kudos to the NFL for doing a really good job of keeping everything under wraps all day. Usually,
4 of our first 6 games are on the road.
Yeah.
That's a lot of road games.
And, of course, Oscar, this year, it's a special year for you because it's going to be Steelers versus NFC East. So, all the local fan bases going up against Oscar in the forum, on the podcast, in his Steelers Depot. You know that there's fans that infiltrate pages and talk their shit like I've been doing for a couple of years. I try to stay in as long as I can until they figure out what my team is.
The name's Gambit. Remember the name.
So Steelers, Cowboys, week 6, you said?
Yep. The week before that. So the Steelers, okay. We face both New York teams week to week, back-to-back weeks.
So that's 1-1.
We're at home against the Jets, home against the Giants. Giants is a Monday Night Football game.
Monday nighter, and you're going to be taking the trip, right?
If those guys are still willing to do it, I'm willing to do it as well.
Monday Night Football, Giants versus Steelers. Definitely one of those interesting. It's always interesting when it's your team's turn to match up with the NFC East because of all the local fan bases that we have and all the
NFL kind of screwed us, got us playing The Ravens Saturday and the Chiefs Wednesday. Thanks a lot, guys.
Ravens and Chiefs will be kicking off the NFL season. We know that. We've known that since yesterday. That's one of the first big leaks was Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs, which I'm not shocked about whatsoever. I expect for the Ravens to be in a lot of primetime action and showcased in a certain way this season. Jets have 8 primetime games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I legit don't know which ones I want to go to besides that game.
So right now, Oscar is in Steeler La La Land as we try to see if we catch any breaking news on any.
Let's see how the
games that are
Eagles'
going
schedule
down.
turned out.
Let's pull up Philly's schedule. That's another type of thing that we do on a night like this. We pull up the schedule. We look down the schedule. Like we do with our magazines closer to fantasy football season.
Dallas plays Philly week 17.
We start giving out the wins and losses. Get ready for a lot of preseason predictions. Am I right? Is that usually what we've been doing the last couple of years? Every year it gets
just for you Mets fans out there, you're losing.
Let's go Knicks. Mike D's checked in. Chris is checked in. Historic franchise versus historic franchise. What up, Rose? Our very own Rose, live and in living color in the building. Never stops working. Hitting us with those updates that we need.
Let's go to Philly schedule, right?
As the Twins leave the bases loaded and the Yankees are now up 2-0.
I got to go on the NFL app because ESPN's app still hasn't updated.
Their traffic right now has got to be so crazy. The volume, the phone calls, the
hotels being booked right now.
Yeah, the crashes of the websites, the reboot. People trying to get their information so that they can get all of their tickets.
All right, so week 1, we all know Philly's going to be in Brazil.
But we're green
against the Packers.
Giants on Hard Knocks. My son won't answer my phone calls. Answer his phone calls, dude.
Damn it, both of y'all.
Answer the phone, dude. Answer the damn phone. The Knicks aren't playing right now. You don't have that excuse, all right? Answer the damn phone.
So they got a Friday night game against the Pack in Brazil. Then they got to play Monday against the Falcons at home. Then they're away for the Saints. Away for the Nightmare Bucks. We don't know what they did to them.
They also have an early bye week, too, so they're going to have a long
week
stretch.
5.
So the end of basically week 6 on is a gauntlet. No days off.
13 in a row.
Giants versus Vikings week 1. How you feeling about that, Rob? You'll probably be facing Sam Darnold. I don't think that
Lock versus Darnold.
McCarthy. Oh, True Lock versus Sam Darnold. What a barn burner, bro. What it do, Julio? How you doing, bro? Who the Jets got week 1, dude? I don't know if you've seen the schedule yet, but what are you thinking? Mira King, nice to see you, sir.
Want to know for the Giants?
Everybody's been MIA. Everybody is catching up right here in the comment section of the On the Money Sports Forum, and I absolutely love it.
So they come off a bye. They're home for the Browns. They're away for the Giants, away for the Bengals, home for the Jags, away for the Cowboys, home for the Commanders, away for the Chargers, away for the Ravens, home for the Panthers, home for the Steelers, away for Washington, home for Dallas, and home for the Giants.
Okay.
I don't know where Terrell's talking that this is a cream puff schedule.
Feeling rather,
I see 6 losses here.
Feeling rather, 9-8-ish maybe?
I could see 6 losses.
9-8, but 8-9 if Hurts is coming out playing like he did at the end of last year. You never know. Oh, okay, so San Francisco versus the Jets. That's going to be a nice, hard-hitting matchup right there. Hopefully the Jets are able to show us what they truly are this year. They didn't
right now on the NFL Network, Michael Robinson and MJD going over the Cowboys schedule, and they're up to week 10 against Philly, and they're predicting they beat Philly, and they'll be 5-4 at that point.
Predicting they beat Philly, huh?
I mean, they're always going to split. Replying to Mikey, who you want, Lock?
I dropped them in Superflex.
Here, Purdy. Hopefully Rodgers lasts over 4 plays.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the hope this year is for the Jets to be able to show us what they look like with Aaron Rodgers under center and what they can do, what that defense can do, what those offensive weapons can do. And as far as making the push to go and take the AFC East, the goal is
Did you
not
hear
to
about
just
Burrow?
have a good season. It's to
He's still
get into
struggling
the
to throw the ball.
playoffs, take the division, and in a year where the Jets can potentially win the AFC East.
A.J. Brown requests a trade by week 3 because his manicure didn't play him.
He's probably going to request a trade because the head coach they have in place doesn't even know how to talk
I doubt
to the
that
players.
after that 3-year extension he signed.
Yeah. He's going to complain still, but he's going to complain while wearing green. As long as Big Dom is there, they should be good because he's the one that actually communicates to the players on that team. Their head coach doesn't know how to talk to the players.
That's crazy.
So it might be some hard times.
That's all lies.
It might be some hard times
lies,
for the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry. It's not lies. It's a lot of shit that comes from them themselves. It comes from Eagles media and news themselves. And they come out and they dismiss it just because they simply don't agree with it.
In the words of Howard Eskin.
They were talking the whole time at the end of last year, we're good. We're in good shape. While they were plummeting. They were nosediving from being a number 1, number 2 seed to be, ending up in a wild card position.
Really, one game after December?
It's like the cartoon picture with the dog and the room is on fire. And he's saying everything's fine. They're going to keep saying everything's good when it's not. I know their game already. I've been playing it for years. And to me, I based off of the names that you read for Philadelphia in that schedule, I don't feel like that's a cream puff schedule. There's a lot of interesting matchups. And the fact that they have their bye week so early that you're going to be running through some of the best teams once your bye week is through.
In the month of December, they only won 2 games after that victory against the Bills. And honestly, the Bills should have won that game.
But we saw what happened with Buffalo that day. When you think about that team, what the Bills were, what the Eagles became.
Self-implosion.
It's one is going up one elevator, one's going down the other elevator.
When somebody had to win.
Yeah, Bills were trajecting down. Eagles were on
Quite honestly, I thought a tie was going to happen.
Because we're talking about the time period where Philly beat the Chiefs and the Bills back-to-back, so you couldn't tell them nothing. They were walking on sunshine. That? I remember. I remember all of it.
We kept getting the flex from kept getting the flex icon from Terrell in the group chat.
Bills Eagles was amazing for fantasy football. It definitely delivered from that aspect, and a crazy finish with Jalen Hurts just trotting into the end zone to beat Buffalo. We know. When you think about it, Buffalo and Philly are a lot alike to me heading into this season because it could be anywhere from 10
somebody's got to win the East.
8 and 9.
Well, history shows nobody wins the East back to back. So we could take the Cowboys out of the division mix.
Can we?
So the Eagles
this year?
Ooh.
Can we take them out? Because I'm sorry. I'm looking at
I still think they make a playoff appearance.
I'm looking at the landscape of the NFC East. Who's really going to win that division?
All right. You know what? You don't want to be the bad guy today with that division. I'll be the bad guy.
I just don't want to.
Number 1,
I remember,
the Washington Commanders are not winning that division.
Hey, they're my sleeper, though. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but they're going to.
They might be a tough out. They're probably going to be a lot harder than what people think.
A tough out. Yeah, pesky.
A hard 6-11. Where 4 of those 11 losses
could have gone either way.
Was by 7 points or less.
Because they're going to throw the rookie to the Wolves week 2.
The New York Football Giants.
Oh, boy. Mikey, we didn't discuss this. We didn't plan this. Go ahead, say it, Oscar.
6 or 7 wins this year.
Oh. That's more than I would have given.
6 or 7.
Oh.
If they really play good,
we got the middle finger eagle head emoji.
If they really play good, they probably could get to 8. A couple things just need to flip flop their way.
Matt is not trying to hear it right now.
I know, Matt, 12-5. We already know, Matt
had the New York Football Giants at 12-5.
We already know.
And you are besmirching the good name of the New York Football Giants by giving them the record that you have them at. Giants will finally beat Dallas this year. Spicy take. Here we go.
So
it's getting spicy.
I'll say this about it. Then it comes down to Dallas and it comes down to Philly. I look at Philly maybe going 10-7, 11-6.
You don't see regression for Philadelphia this year?
They're the only other team that's set up on paper to Because I'm looking at the trajectory of the history of that division. Nobody's won in back-to-back years since 2004.
I'm looking at the teams right now. I'm looking at an up-and-coming Washington
How am I
team.
disrespectful putting your number between 6 to 8? This man said I'm not even giving him that.
Listen, guys. I was trying to avoid it, but, dude, I think the Giants might be like the worst team in football this year. I think that you guys might be like a 3 and 14, 17, 3 and 14, 4 and 13. You know, I was trying to avoid going there, but since we're there, let's talk about it. I don't think that they're going to be any good at all.
Ooh.
So you can take them out of the equation. It was as far as us talking about winning the division, you can remove them out of the equation. Washington is going to be pesky. They're my sleeper.
You're dead to me.
They're my sleeper. I was trying to avoid it. I saw what you guys were saying about the Giants earlier, and I said I have no opinion on the subject. I was gonna wait until we get online.
Except when you laughed when you found out they were on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I laughed, but I left it at that. I was not poking fun. I was keeping myself busy. I stayed out of that nonsense that was going on when you guys were talking about the Giants earlier and Thanksgiving being ruined because they have to play the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I stayed out of it. I stayed out of all of it, guys. I'm just here giving you my unemotional, unbiased take on what I think this football team is going to be.
There was somebody very upset that they had to play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I won't say any names.
What I think they're going to be is one of the worst teams in football next year.
I didn't say all that.
Again, who's your quarterback? Daniel Jones? Mikey's saying he's going to be ready to play. A fully healthy Daniel Jones is just as much as a liability as anybody else playing quarterback at that position for that football team. Who do they play week 1? The Vikings. Maybe you win. Maybe you get a win against Minnesota. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. But as far as the NFC East goes, I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East this year. I'm not picking the Eagles. I like Washington because I think Washington is going to be sneaky good with Jaden Daniels. And again, like Oscar, I think Washington is going to be in a lot of matchups where, it's just, we almost got him. Like we almost got him. We're a step in the right direction. And once
that Bret Hart Mr. Perfect promo.
What's going to happen is Washington is going to let Mariota start 1 week. It's going to be a terrible offense. And then they're like, all right, let's just throw the rookie out there because, what are we doing here? We don't got time for this shit 2 weeks in a row. Insert Jaden Daniels week 2, week 3. You've got a scrappy Washington team that's going to give some teams a run for their money, and they're going to, at times, make it uncomfortable for the other teams.
Y'all got Gauntlet Road, too. Tennessee Titans, week 5 bye.
Also, we got the same bye week as Philly.
Yep.
Interesting.
Start the year on the road in Chicago.
We got the Sunday night football.
Then you're home for the Jets.
Rams versus
home
Detroit.
For the Packers. Away for the Dolphins. That's 2 years in a row you're playing the Dolphins on Monday night. Matt, enough. You're not Magneto.
For us.
Home for the Colts. Away for the Bills. Away for the Lions. Home for the Patriots.
I would have been removed from Mikey's top 10 in MySpace if this was 8 years
let me
ago.
be real with y'all. MySpace was better than Facebook, low key.
When you think about the profile music that you had in the background and
the background changing and all that,
when you really look at it, Tom had a good thing going with MySpace,
and we didn't appreciate it.
I did. It's just everybody moved on, and now I don't remember my Facebook password.
So you got where'd I leave off?
Who knows what I have on there?
Home for the Patriots, away for the Chargers, home for the Vikings, away for the Texans, away for the Commanders, home for the Jaguars, home for the Bengals, away for the Colts, away for the Jaguars, home for the Texans.
You know what? Our schedule ain't that hard. Our schedule softens up towards the end. It's the fact that we have an early bye week, but I'm looking at that schedule right there, anywhere from 7-10 to 10-7 for my football team, honestly. Because if there's still growing pains that have to come with second year Will Levis, then there's still growing pains. However, it's a very manageable schedule. So the wide range goes to me ceiling of 10-7 to 7-10. Where
this is your time to comment, gentlemen.
We're going to be in a lot of matchups that are going to come down to the wire, and it's going to be a question of, damn, can they close? First of all, we've got Ladarius Sneed, and every day that contract looks better and better when I see some of the other defensive players and what they're getting paid. And some of the newer contracts that are coming out. We have
Winfield just got paid in the shade.
Our number one cornerback did not allow a single touchdown last year. So the no-fly zone is in Tennessee this season, so it's going to be
4-13.
We're going to win more games than the Giants. I know that.
Jones over Levis.
That's just now we're just getting.
Oh, we got a tag team going on. Enjoy the hard knocks experience, Giants.
Because all of them combined can't amount to the same amount of victories that the Giants are going to be getting. The Titans are going to win more than the New York Football Giants. Will Levis is going to throw more touchdowns than Daniel Jones.
So Tennessee's known for barbecue, right? Like barbecue food, like barbecue ribs and all that.
Whiskey, music.
I say bagel mania.
Rib mania?
Bagel or rib? Let's figure this out.
Why would you want a bagel over a rib? Like, honestly, like, just at that point, just make it rib mania. Nobody's going to choose a bagel over a rib.
Figure it
That's
out.
Gonna be nuts.
Because cheesesteak mania is over.
You bore witness to it in the group chat. I posed a question like 2 weeks ago. I was like, yo, let's make a bet. Will Levis has more touchdown passes than Daniel Jones. I'm still willing to make that bet right now.
What's a bagel?
As soon as you mentioned ribs.
Well, ain't that what New York's made?
4-13. Nah, it won't be that bad for us. It could definitely.
Well, since we're talking about the Giants,
it could definitely be a disappointing 7-10.
I just gave you the Titans schedule. Here's a Giants schedule in full. Home against the Vikings.
Loss.
Away against the Commanders.
Loss.
Away against the Browns. Home for the Cowboys.
Loss.
Away for the Seahawks. Home for the Bengals.
Bro.
Home for the Eagles. Away for the Steelers.
Total touchdowns?
Home for the Commanders.
That's a fair bet because both our quarterbacks can run. So I'll take that bet. Total touchdowns. Touchdown passes and rushing touchdowns. Whoever has the most. Not
pizza
yards.
Versus ribs.
Not yards. And
I didn't think about that. New York pizza.
Well, me and Matt, make it official. Let's handshake on it. Total touchdowns. Will Levis.
What is the winning prize? Is it barbecue ribs?
Are we doing?
Is it a New York pizza?
I feel like cash is easier than food.
50.
All right, let's put 50 on it. Just write this down. Total. There you have it. See, I can do the back and forth all day, but unless you're willing to put money where your mouth is,
what are we gonna call this?
Care.
We need a name.
Levis versus Jones. Levis versus Jones until Jones ends up getting benched for the other guy. So we'll go as long as Jones goes, which is probably like week 6. Until he plays like he's an utter disaster. The Giants are 1-4, and now we're looking at Drew Lock. But I don't care if he gets benched because a deal is a deal, and I'm still going to want my prize money or my food, whatever it is. It's $50 right now, so we'll go with the $50. Total touchdowns. There you have it, folks. Money talks, bullshit walks.
All right, so I left off that the Giants were home for the Commanders, away for the Panthers in Germany. Home for the Bucks, away for the Cowboys, home for the Saints, home for the Ravens, away for the Falcons, home for the Colts, away for the Eagles. I could see 6 to 7. I could see 7 wins.
At best, like ceiling 7?
7 to 8, man. I could see it.
I can also
which is a step in the positive right direction.
I can also see them drafting in the top 5. But again, I didn't want to go there. You guys pushed me to this point. It's on you guys. You wanted to talk about it because I just felt bad because of all the Giants bashing we did last summer. Remember last summer, from late May to July, Mikey was blue in the face, trying to get us to see reason as far as the New York Giants, even though he knew in his heart there was potential for them to go 8-9, 9-8.
I picked them to go 9-8 and make it to the playoffs.
I think I picked them to be the drizzling shits.
Nobody pushed you.
You guys did. I didn't want to talk about it, dude. I didn't want to go there. I was just gonna give my.
Baltimore got Kansas City.
I was just gonna give my prediction.
Buffalo, Cincinnati to start the year.
I was just gonna be like, look, guys, I think the Dallas Cowboys are gonna win the East. Don't ask me how. Don't try to make it a thing, but you wanted to make it a thing, and now here we are talking about it. And now the bet is official. Levis versus Jones, total touchdowns. Let's go. I said 8 and 9. I'm looking more forward to see the defense produce. Probably to me, what's going to be the bright side of that football team, and what sucks is I feel like some instances the Giants defense is going to play really good, but they're not going to get the run support from the other side because of Daniel Jones. Yeah, but
interesting.
I could see 8 and 9 for the Philadelphia Eagles, bro. Honestly, no Jason Kelsey. You know, like, why are we assuming that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be a contender again next year? Because why? Because why?
I guess
because of how they ended the
is...
season. You know, the offense was stale as shit for the last 7 weeks of the season. Hey, maybe we will. And if we're there and you're not, then we'll send you a postcard. We'll send you a rib and a postcard, a rib attached to a postcard, mailed to East Rutherford, New Jersey. We can make a bet on when Danny Jones gets benched too, if you want, because that was good. That's gonna that's the if we can make a little parlay if you want to do that, it's whatever. And here we are with Aaron Rodgers carrying the American flag last year, 5 minutes before he ripped his Achilles. Hopefully, this year they're on Monday Night Football again, Week 1, and he's able to a rib portfolio. You open up the card and ribs fall out. We can whatever you want, bro. Whatever you want to do. You know, this is just an appetizer of what's to come as far as football season. Okay, so please, our sophomore QB that's already more developed than your QB in 7 years. Come on, bro. What are you talking about here? Will Levis can command the offense, something that Daniel Jones hasn't been able to do his entirety of being a Giant. Just sit back, relax, and take notes. We have wide receiver. Isn't your tight end out making a rap video still or something? Can you guys even get a hold of your tight end?
I think he's going to be horrible to actually get benched with all the money you're paying him. After next season, it's whatever, because we can wave goodbye.
I get it after next season money-wise, but the problem is
that man is stupid for divorcing the woman he's married to.
That the New York Giants have people in that front office and on that coaching staff that are going to be looking to save their jobs this year. So if me saving my ass means that I got to sit the shitty quarterback that can't produce, then that shitty quarterback is going to get sat. There's a reason that Drew Lock got signed, and we could potentially be seeing Drew Lock on the field this season if the Giants go out there, throw up all over themselves, lose to Washington Week 2, and prove themselves incapable of winning a division football game. Because, yes, the bar is still set at the same place that it was. You know, a lot of us don't always agree with Terrell's takes, but the truth of the matter is that they beat a Philadelphia Eagles team that was in the middle of an implosion. Like, the Philadelphia Eagles weren't going to know how to beat anybody because they just weren't in the right mindset for anything. So the Giants had that feel-good moment. Happy for them. Now go back out there and do it again this year. Can you beat the Eagles? Can you beat Dallas? Can you split with these two teams? I think Dak Prescott is like 12-0 against you guys. I don't know. So eventually you got to figure him out.
He's only lost to them twice.
Yeah, Darren Waller's out making back-to-school rap music. Like, come on, bro. Like, cut me a break. Chica Congo over Darren Waller. At least I know he's going to be on the field. Jets at Titans Week 2. We get to see Tyler, not T. Higgins Boyd. That should be a good one. Titans versus Jets. Shit, we might lose that one. I don't know. It's a good defense.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. And I know we open up the year against the Chicago Bears, so we'll be the first ones to take a crack at the rookie sensation, Caleb Williams. We'll get to see firsthand what all the hype is about as far as Chicago goes, the wide receiver threats that they have, what they've been able to implement, and, of course, our duo of Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins, and see what those two guys can do along with Tyler Boyd, not T. Higgins. And along with the new regime out in Tennessee with Bill Callahan and his father, who he's got this instrument of destruction that he puts out there for his offensive linemen. It's a 360-pound ring called Bertha. So I'm interested to see what they do, man. Like, I'm interested to see what Cal can do. I'm interested from multiple perspectives because I want to see if we start doing good, trending up, and then the Bengals start trending down, and see, like, how much did Bill have to do with what was going on in Cincinnati? Is he going to be able to duplicate what he did out there, or is this going to become another classic case of a coordinator that gets hired and is in over his head? He seems smart. You know, he hired his father, who is a offensive line guru, took him away from Cleveland, which I was happy about that. We saw what the Cleveland offensive line has been for the last couple of years.
It's nice to know that I'm a handsome gentleman now. Before it was just handsome gentleman Elon and Oscar.
What up, Drewski? How you doing, buddy? F. Barkley. We got the F. Giants' whole offense was Barkley. Yeah, and I mean, not to be rude or anything or to harp back on it, but guys, last year you guys forget that without Saquon Barkley, you weren't moving the ball for shit. Wasn't nobody out there moving the ball? Who was your wide receiver? Who besides Saquon Barkley was moving the rock for you guys? Name one player. Deafin over his head. What up, familiar? We'll see, man. What up, RJ? Good to see you in the chat. Hope you're feeling good, bro. Good to hear from you. Hope all is well. Looking forward to the rematch between the Titans and the Packers this year. I don't know when we play, but I do know that we play. Ranger Suarez. He must have done something good. Would you guys beat the Mets again?
We're beating them up.
That's good.
Oh, I got my second quality start in.
Nice. Good stuff. Quality start. I'm working on
Pedro Lopez.
Working on my third, I believe.
Pablo Lopez is about to get cut off of the Bryce Bombers.
There you go. He's having a rough day, dude. It's a rough lineup.
It's been a rough season for this clown.
It's rough, bro. Like, come on. The Twins are good, but they're slow moving. Sometimes he doesn't get the run support. Can't blame him. He's trying, bro. Completely different offense this year outside the QB. Him and Singletary had the same numbers last year. Okay, so we'll see what Singletary's numbers look like behind that offensive line with that quarterback. We'll see if those numbers look the same.
Enough of this Giants slander. Let's go over these.
Let's move on.
Let's look at the Monday night schedule that we got going.
Monday Night Football, baby.
So the first Monday night game of the year is the Jets in San Francisco. I know Jets fans are excited. Aaron Rodgers should not get hurt again like this and lose him for the year. Don't get too excited because we all know what happens when Aaron Rodgers plays the San Francisco 49ers. Good things do not happen.
I was cutting the Giants some slack by not mentioning them at all. These guys want to talk about it, so I'm ready to talk about it.
So we go to week 2. You got Falcons in Philly. I expect Philly to beat them.
Kurt Cobain's? Is that his name? Kirko?
Who?
He's not doing that anymore, is he, in Atlanta? He's not doing the Kirk Cousins? He's still asking them, why'd you draft Penix, probably?
Yo, he said he's over it. He said it does no
that doesn't mean
he said it does no good to keep getting mad.
I'm over it. It pisses me off, but I'm not going to bring it up anymore.
All right, so September 23rd is a doubleheader. You get Jags, Bills. You get Washington and the Bengals.
That's a good Monday Night Football game. I love the AFC versus NFC dynamic of it because there's a lot of matchups that you just don't see often. A lot of these teams aren't going to meet up in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just a nice dynamic to kick the season off. Not the predictable divisional matchup. You save the divisional matchups for later in the year, make them mean a little bit more, and it just really shakes everything up. What's up, Matt?
We upgraded pieces around him, so he has no excuse.
Real.
He does have a better offensive line around him. He does have...
The quarterback isn't better, though. The offensive line is better, but the quarterback's decision-making is still mediocre at best. And legit, like, who are the options on the offense? Malik Neighbors is a rookie, bro. Who else you got? Devin Singletary? Okay. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if you're willing to stand on that hill as it crumbles beneath your feet.
So the following week, after that doubleheader, you got another doubleheader on September 30th in week 4. You got Titans, Dolphins, Seahawks, Lions.
Those are good matchups right there. What do you think of Seattle this year? What do you think Seattle's going to be? You got Geno out there, under the contract. Sam Howell.
Sam Howell should be starting by October.
So you think Geno gets benched?
Yeah.
They right back finally?
I figured he's already got most. It was a live reaction, but
what the hell's going on
what's
here?
The
I don't
point
want to see these guys' faces. They're not us.
What's this?
I know we play Miami on Thanksgiving in Lambeau.
I'll leave that right here.
Another good matchup right there. Packers versus Dolphins. Malik Neighbors is getting thrown to the Wolves. Neighbors, Hyatt, Wandell.
So after that doubleheader, we got Saints, Chiefs, Bills, Jets, another doubleheader. So we got 3 doubleheaders Looks like there's 4 doubleheaders that year. This year, I mean. So after
That
Bills-Jets,
never happens.
you got October 21st, Week 7 doubleheader. Ravens-Bucks, Chargers-Cardinals. Then October 28th, you got Giants-Steelers. The following week is Bucks-Chiefs, Dolphins-Chargers, Texans-Cowboys, Ravens-Chargers, Browns-Broncos, Bengals-Cowboys. Then December 16th, you got another 2 doubleheader. Bears-Vikings, Falcons-Raiders. December 23rd is Saints-Pack, and the 30th is the Lions and the 49ers. And January 4th will be to be determined doubleheader.
Okay. Interesting.
So the last week of the year, there will actually be Monday Night Football, which there normally isn't because all the games end that Sunday. This year, we're going to have a doubleheader.
Do I really even get a chance, though? Last year, a kid probably played like 10 snaps all year. I mean, are we going to be saying the same thing about every rookie that they end up drafting?
Oh, no holds barred today, I see.
They get a chance? They get a chance? It's hard to get a chance when your quarterback is not capable. I'm trying to tell you. Like, Will Levis is going to be the better quarterback this year over Jones all day. All day, bro. Barely got the ball thrown to him. He didn't utilize him properly. Who didn't utilize him? We didn't utilize who?
They're talking about Hyatt.
Okay.
And Jalen Hyatt's a good ball player. And in some of the games I watched, he made some big plays when he had the chance.
So money. Who do you think will be the surprise team this year in the NFL?
I can't give you that yet.
Why not?
You got to wait till August.
I'll do mine. Yeah,
I got to wait for training camp.
Yes, Levis over Jones all day.
I got to wait for training camp so I can see who's hurt, who's not, and then I can just look at it and figure it out. I know last year I gave you the surprise team of all surprise teams when I said the Detroit Lions were going to make the Super Bowl. I was one game off.
You were on a roll, dude. You felt like a genius.
I was one game off from having the Super Bowl I had predicted way back in the middle of August.
Because of the gambler.
When I said Chiefs, Lions.
The gambler, dog.
Had he just kicked the field goals.
The gambler.
Had he just kicked the field goals, that last drive he had the ball would have been for the win.
All you had to do was tag me, Brett. That's all you had to do was tag me. But you wanted to be selfish. Oh, man.
I just read that in Tony Montana's.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, at least it's out in the open, and you guys know what I'm thinking. Also, as far as what I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking.
It could be the Falcons.
Well, I think that we expect the Falcons to be better. One team that I don't think anybody expects to be better is I think that the Carolina Panthers are going to be a surprise team this year. Like, not a playoff team, but I think that they're going to be a maybe 7-8 wins this year. I think that Carolina Panthers, that's my preseason prediction right there. My sleeper is Washington, but don't be surprised with the Carolina Panthers with some of the moves they made in the offseason and their new regime and that young quarterback who you want to talk about being thrown to the wolves. Bryce Young was thrown to the wolves and then trampled by a stampede of wildebeest after the wolves left them. Whatever bones were left got trampled. It is. It's a gross pick. It's not a sexy pick at all. But again, if we're talking about surprise teams, like none of us are expecting anything at all from Carolina. At all. But I'm thinking that they could be the surprise team this year. Get themselves 7-8 wins. Hell, they might win more games than the Giants. Who knows? Might even beat the Giants when they play them in Week 10. Give me that Panthers money line all day. Who's going to have more touchdowns, Bryce Young or Danny Dimes? Let's see. Let's find out. Let's find out.
Yeah, about that.
Surprise.
All right, I'm back.
Raiders, maybe? Raiders a surprise team?
Julio, I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say this for the first time.
Week 10 battleships.
I don't see the Chiefs three-peating. I don't, here comes the script. I just don't see in the script the first ever three-peat. No one's ever done it before. I don't. It's too hard.
I don't know what the Super Bowl is
It's
going to be.
way too hard to do that in any sport. To go back to back to back. Eventually, one thing about the Kansas City Chiefs, they have been relatively healthy throughout this run. There has been no significant injury.
Right.
Not saying I'm wishing that upon them, but they've been awfully lucky when it comes to injuries that nothing has happened to a key player.
Yeah.
And it may be the key player. Like Pat Mahomes looked normal last year and they still won a championship. However, I just don't see getting rid of Snead. It was Snead, right?
Yep. Darius Snead.
I don't think how you can. Oh, we're comfortable with the third year the third year player taking over and being a shutdown. I don't see that. They gave all that money to Chris Jones, and Chris Jones ain't no young chicken.
And yet they had to give that money to Chris Jones.
Yeah, so a lot of it, I just don't see it.
I think, yes, Chris, I do. Honestly.
Absolutely.
I think they're going to be as good as last year.
They're set up for success.
The question is not if they're going to be as good as last year. It's what can they do to be better than last year. Like, I think Detroit is going to find themselves in a very similar place in the playoffs this year. They're going to be faced with the same adversity, and they're going to have to respond. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to make Dan Campbell is going to have to figure out if he wants to take the gamble or if he wants to make the smart play. And it's going to be the difference between the Lions advancing and the Lions potentially getting eliminated a round early. But, dude, the sky's the limit for Detroit. I think Detroit wins that division. Jared Goff's new deal has him there for a couple of more years, the foreseeable future. They're firing on all cylinders. There's too much talent for them to regress. So I think that, yeah, it's just a question of, hey, can the Lions be better than last year? And it's tough to, the bar is set at NFC title appearance. So it's a question of, damn, can you make it back to the NFC title game? And now once you're here, like, what can you do to get yourself to that next level? And potentially, if old money dares to do it, we have a Detroit Lions Super Bowl appearance for 2 years in a row. I think they handle it by him potentially serving a suspension and then coming back to the team like nothing happened.
Well, it's being asked right now on the NFL Network. Will the Lions win 11 games this year? I think so.
11's a good number.
They're better than the Vikings. They're better than the Bears. And I think they'll split with the Packers like they did last year.
Yeah, Packers, as of right now, Packers are the biggest thorn on their side.
I think they can go 5-1 in that division. Now it's just a matter of getting a 6 wins elsewhere.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's pull it up. That's what we're doing today, right?
We're talking about the Lions schedule?
Yeah, let's take a look at the Lions.
Yeah, I think this is the year where we really see what Dan Campbell can do as far as coaching. Like, you proved you can have a winning football season, but
they got to run the gauntlet too because they got a Week 5 bye. All right, they start the year at home against the Chargers. They should beat the Chargers. Then they're home against the Bucks. They should beat the Bucks. Then they go to Arizona. They should beat the Cardinals. Then they're home for those Seahawks, which they should beat. They should at least beat 3-1.
This is not a gauntlet at
now
all.
They're on bye week. I mean, gauntlet with a run of games where you got to play 12 in a row.
Sure.
They're away for Dallas, away for Minnesota, home for Tennessee, away for Green Bay, away for Houston, home for the Jags, away for the Colts, home for the Bears, home for the Pack, home for the Bills, away for the Bears, away for the 49ers, and home for the Vikings. I'm sorry, but there's 11 wins on that schedule.
Yes.
Hell, maybe 12.
A lot of guys better delete DraftKings when the season starts. Dude, I would not be surprised if we hear about more suspensions when we get closer to the season.
That's another thing. That's why, listen, everyone,
Cover
right
your
now
tracks.
we're predicting, we're talking this, that. Mind you, it's May. It's May
We got the
15th.
whole summer.
Injuries are going to occur in training camp like they always do.
A lot of roster spots are not guaranteed.
Injuries are going to occur in exhibition games, which suck.
Boom, parlay, no sweat bet just hit, baby.
Injuries are going to occur in the first month of the season, which blows.
Yeah.
We're not going to really know the significance of the schedule until the beginning of November.
Happens every year, and it's going to boost the value.
Like,
of certain
I could look at the Steelers' schedule in the last couple games of the gauntlet they're running through. The Browns, the Browns, Bengals, Browns, Philly, Kansas, Ravens, Kansas City. But guess what? Those teams could be hurt. There could be players missing.
You don't really know.
Or teams could be just straight up struggling. That happens too. Where all of a sudden a team that's been so good for so long just starts to struggle.
Unfortunately, happens every year. It's part of the game.
Like, a lot of us are over here, I think the Eagles are an 11 win team. This man says barely 9.
10 is a ceiling, I guess.
But
I could see 8 and 9 for Philly. For sure.
There's, the Browns. Listen, y'all got Deshaun Watson coming back. He didn't move the needle at all. A guy off the street moved the needle. So if he stays healthy all year, what if they regress? Will they have the balls to pull the trigger? And who was that? Winston's there now, right?
Paid too much money. I mean, we saw a lot of QBs go down last year and how it altered so many things.
And that's another thing.
It was the year of the
quarterback injury.
It was Minshew mania across the league because everybody had their Minshew. And their Minshew was the one, everybody was trying to find their Minshew because their starting QB wasn't in the picture. And there was quarterback carousels. It was the injuries. This year, I think it's going to be a couple of guys.
It happens, man.
It's part of the game. So, and this is the time period for Dynasty where you're holding on and you're dropping players, and you got to be really careful about who you drop because one news bulletin can make the value of that one player go from here to here because of the fact that opportunity presents itself in all sorts of ways. Unfortunately, a lot of times it's due to the injuries, but you just gotta, you gotta be careful. You can't fall in love with everybody on your roster, but you also gotta be careful when you're making your cuts and setting up your dynasty teams and your rosters and taxi squads.
Let's see, keep going. I want to see if I can pull this up somewhere else.
And it's just one of those times where the next couple of months are going to be very crucial for the roster structuring for Dynasty. It's the time of year where the trades are going down. We just got done our rookie draft for the Superflex Dynasty League, so we're kind of in that part of the season where it's before summertime and we're trying to work on some deals. We're trying to acquire certain players before we're going into like these OTAs and all that stuff and just get a firm grasp of what we want our team to look like at a point in time when the market for making trades is not just going to be crazy based on what we see on the field. Like you're trying to take advantage of that, I should say. Let's see, pulling up the what's that? The Thursday night. Oh man, the streaming sites are taking over football. We got the news today that Christmas Day is going to be on Netflix for the NFL. So one more streaming app getting themselves into the mix. The amount of money is ridiculous, and
all right,
it's not going to go away either.
You're not going to see it on your screen, but we're seeing it on our screen. I've got all the Thursday night games up on the menu here. So the first Thursday night game is Bills and Dolphins, September 12th. Patriots, Jets, September 19th. Dallas, Giants, September 26th. Bucks, Falcons, October 3rd. 49ers, Seahawks, October 10th. Broncos versus the Saints, October 17th. Vikings versus the Chargers, October 24th. The Houston Texans and the New York Jets, October 31st. Halloween. Bengals, Ravens, November 7th. Commanders, Eagles, November 14th. Steelers, Browns, November 21st. Amazon Prime does not have a Thanksgiving game. Those games are on the CBS, Fox, and NBC channels, just a reminder. However, the next day, Black Friday, is Raiders-Chiefs. Hopefully that's later on in the day, bro, because that 3 o'clock start time last year sucked ass. because I couldn't watch the game. I'm working.
A 3:00 NFL game on a Friday is fucking stupid. Like,
yeah,
that's.
If you're gonna do it, then don't do it at all.
What are you doing, bro?
Not everybody works. What about the people who work in retail? You know what I mean? The restaurant business.
I mean, it's literally Friday at 3:00. Like,
the plumbing, heating business.
Not every job has TVs.
Yeah.
You know?
So after that is Packers Lions December 5th. Rams. Well, I said Vikings Chargers. It was Vikings Rams. Damn, I got to get my eyes checked. Rams Niners. Browns Bengals, which is big for December 19th. And Seahawks Bears to end the year on December 26th.
Decent slate for the Amazon Prime. How about the Christmas game this year? Who is it?
It sucks.
It's on a Wednesday.
I mean, the majority of people are off Christmas Day. I'm off Christmas Day, so I'll get to watch my team probably get beat by the Chiefs, which will piss me off and make me Uncle Scrooge. But it is
just
what
don't
it is.
Start wishing bad on everybody else's teams, because the last time you did that, every single fantasy playoff team you had got wiped from the face
my
of
night
the earth.
could get better if the Ravens at 4:30 lose to the Texans that same day.
Good matchup. Little preview of the AFC
Which
playoffs.
it sucks we got to play the Chiefs that day, because that Saturday we got to play the Ravens. So you're going to play a physical football game Saturday night, then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, rest to play Wednesday the defending world champions. It sucks.
They're going 0-2.
It could be. Oh, we ain't losing the Ravens, bro.
You just said it could be. So you're not losing to the Ravens?
We might split.
Okay, so you're losing to the Ravens once. That's better. It's a better answer. You guys got to take your heart out of this.
Somebody has to.
You gotta.
Can someone get me the Ravens record against the Steelers since 2020? Because I could tell you.
What is it? Splits?
2-7.
Okay, pretty good. I'm just saying, it's more likely that you guys split this year than you just
F them Ravens.
So you said yourself it was going to be tough.
We swept them last year. We should have swept them the year before. We swept them the year before that. F them.
You guys got the Browns. We don't have a Thursday night game this year. We have the Monday nighter against Miami. Of course, we were the first team in history to be down 14 points with 2 minutes 55 left.
Overall, Mike, I don't like football on a Wednesday. I think Thursday.
It's not meant for Wednesdays.
Yeah, Thursday's fine, bro.
Still trying to stomach the fact that there's Thursday night football, because it's just, I mean, I'm used to it, but it's just one of those things where, it's just middle of the week football is weird. Anything past Monday that ain't, Saturday or Sunday is just, and last year with the Amazon Prime matchups that we did get, I mean, it was the drizzling shits, bro. Like, we were literally, for fantasy football, putting ourselves in the hole because nobody wanted to perform on Thursday night. Like,
yeah, that was
like
terrible.
You got guys giving you 5 points on a Thursday, and you're taking that into the weekend. What are you gonna do with that?
We went to two. I went to 2 Thursday night football games, and it was destroying my fantasy.
It was brutal. It was freaking brutal. I remember the one we went to in Pittsburgh, Derrick Henry had a touchdown, but like points wise, he ended with like maybe 12, 13 fantasy points. It's like, I'm not in a rush. I'm about to just start sitting my guys on Thursday nights, bro. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. Mikey had one of the best Thursday night football performances when he put his balls on the table and started O'Connell and started all the Raiders and Chargers. I ended up beating him still, but he ended up putting up 118 points on a Thursday night with 4 guys, which is 118 points on a Thursday is crazy. Like, not as crazy as my comeback victory, but still pretty crazy. Especially with O'Connell. O'Connell was airing it out that night. I was stressed. I was like, oh boy, this guy is. That was a.
I thought he was going to beat you.
Was that a bonus? Yes, it was a bonus. Just for fresh sleeper. There's another 40 points for you.
That score was crazy. What was it, like 60 something to 7 or something?
Dude, he had 118. Oh no! Oh yeah. That's right. They were Bro, oh my goodness.
The next day, the Chargers the head coach was fired.
Oh my goodness. I forgot that cost that guy his
Remember
job.
they were like, "Are you gonna do you think you're gonna have a job tomorrow?" As of right now, I have one. It was like, "Oof."
That was tough. And that's leading into another storyline that's going to unfold before our eyes this year, is the hot seat conversation for head coaches. You know, like how many head coaches around the league are going to start feeling their seat get hotter and hotter if the performance from the team in September is, off to a rocky start. Like, how much time do some of these coaches actually have? Here we are with Chicago again doing what they did and moving on from Justin Fields and drafting Caleb Williams and the trades that they've made and the talent they surrounded them with. Like, this is it for that GM and for Eberflus and those guys. Like, this has got to be it. There's nothing after this. There's no tomorrow unless you grasp today and make something happen, because you're in a competitive division and you're not going to win the North. The Lions probably are. You got to prove you can beat the Packers when it matters. And the last thing you want is for the Vikings to be better than you, because that just puts you in the basement. And then the show's over. Just like that, you lose your job. Like, how many other head coaches are going to have to deal with that reality? How long before Nick Sirianni his seat gets hot? Like, it's a conversation that's worth having. You can't just doofus your way through the season again and look around not knowing what you're doing. Like, your coordinators are only going to be able to protect you for so long before you get exposed to the fact that you really don't know what the fuck you're doing with the job that you have. Who we got here? What's this? Sunday Night Football?
Yeah.
Pull up here. Okay. Rams versus Lions. Stafford versus Goff. Always a good one. Always good to see Matt Stafford go up against his old team. The fact that it's two teams from the NFC that could potentially be a playoff matchup. Let's be real, there's only a handful of coaches with job security. Belichick out there, any coach is going to feel. Yeah. The seat can get hot for a lot of people very fast this year. You look at, maybe not everybody, because there's a lot of teams that are.
It was 63-21. Just to remind everyone.
Some coordinators can't protect their head coaches too. And then some coordinators, they get put on the spotlight in the forefront as a head coach, and we see that they can't coach. Like, they're better off as a coordinator because it's just Arthur Smith. He was in over his head. You put him back in a position where he feels more comfortable, and he's probably going to be able to give you a more realistic output as far as his production. Like, he didn't know what the hell he was doing as a head coach. He looked crazy out there. He looked crazy as hell out there, not using his best assets, his best weapons. This year, he has to worry about less. He has a veteran quarterback. I already know what the Steelers are going to do. They're going to run the fucking ball. They're going to play action. Arthur Smith's playbook, I've seen it already. I've lived it. He's not going to add anything to that playbook that's going to make me go, oh, wow. No, you know what's coming. You're going to go for the run until you bite on the play action. And when you bite, you better hope they don't beat you deep. That's the game. That's the game. That's what got Ryan Tannehill.
May I remind everyone?
Guys. That's what got Tannehill paid.
Ryan Tannehill was on the bubble. Ryan Tannehill, they gave up on. He went in Arthur Smith's offense, resurrected his career. People act like A.J. Brown wasn't getting 1,100-yard seasons and 10 touchdowns.
It goes hand in hand because A.J. Brown was a big help for Ryan Tannehill, too.
So
A.J. Brown was a massive help for Ryan Tannehill.
Who's to say he can't do a Russell Wilson or be it Justin Fields?
Ryan Tannehill became a play-action wizard for a year.
So I believe this offense could work for either one of those quarterbacks. But it's still early.
Very early. Too early.
Sunday night football matchups. I'm going to go in order, all right? Not that way I don't have to say the date for everyone like the Thursday games. Week 1 is Los Angeles Rams and the Lions. Week 2 is the Bears and the Texans. Week 3 is the Chiefs and the Falcons. Week 4 is the Bills and the Ravens. Week 5 is Cowboys and Pittsburgh. Week 6 is the Bengals and the Giants. Oof.
Why'd you say that?
Week 7 is the Jets and the Steelers. Week 8 is the Cowboys and the Niners. Week 9 is the Jaguars and the Eagles. Dougie P versus Philly. Week 10 is the Lions at the Texans. Week 11 is Colts Jets. Week 12 is Eagles Rams. Week 13 is Niners Bills. That's interesting. December, cold weather, possibly snowy.
Potentially.
I like to see how Brock Purdy plays in those wins. Chargers, Chiefs, Week 15, Packers, Seahawks, Week 16, Bucks, Cowboys, Week 17, Dolphins, Browns, and Week 18 is to be determined.
Yeah, Week 18 information, we're not going to have too much of that.
Probably
until
Week 18,
the season.
every time says TBD.
Everything is going to get mixed around and flexed based on, the magnitude of games. And you know how they have the teams that clinch play at 1, and then everybody who's fighting for their lives plays in that 4 p.m. slate. Usually Sunday Night Football. Oh, yeah, they do have Sunday Night Football last week of the year. It's Monday they don't have. So at that Week 18, everybody's playing on Sunday, unless you're playing Saturday. And they're going to try to make Sunday Night Football Week 18 probably a divisional showdown where the winner takes their division, cashes in on that playoff spot, and the loser is either in the playoffs or potentially on the outside looking in. Or they've won enough games to put themselves in the wild card, and we could potentially see 2 teams play each other back-to-back weeks this year.
Yeah.
Which would, for strategy and game planning, that's always a very interesting chess match where you're preparing for the same team for 2 weeks. Like, what can you do differently? What adjustments can you make the second time around?
If it's a blowout, are you calling back
what do you change? What do you
if it's a blowout, most teams just stop showing their hand.
Yeah, like what do you change? What do you keep the same? How much is it going to matter for both teams? Hopefully, both teams have something to play for.
And sometimes those matchups mean something because look what happened for the Giants against the Patriots.
Yes.
Yeah, they went 16-0, but they took things from that matchup and used them in the Super Bowl.
They absolutely did. They absolutely did. It was a hell of a shootout too. Hell of a shootout. But that's what happens. It's almost like a it's the best type of blueprint that you can have as far as preparation goes. Like you're playing the team, like you're playing them. You know what I mean? Like that this coming week you're going to see them again. And when things are working, like why would you change what's working? If things weren't working, do we have the personnel capable of making the right adjustments, or are we going to get crushed 2 weeks in a row by the same team?
There's storylines too here for these games too.
Yeah.
70 dynasties going up against each other.
I didn't react to it because I got caught up in the conversation earlier with Big Blue. But what you were talking about as far as Joey B, and like he's back, but like
they're saying he's still not 100%, bro. And there was talk that it should have already been. They took a ligament from another part of his body and placed it on his wrist in that part of his body. So it's going to be interesting, man.
And we can't rule out the fact
that I'm trying to be non-biased. I'm not trying to, but I know what I read.
Look.
And I know what's been dropped on the forum. People have dropped, the topics about Joe Burrow's forearm still not being Joe Burrow said in an interview the other day, I still don't feel right. Bro, we're like 5.5 months. Not even, because he got hurt, in November?
Remember what Jamar Chase said last year. He should sit a little
December,
bit longer.
January, February, March, April, May. It's now been 6 months, and he's still saying it doesn't feel right.
Remember what Jamar Chase said last year with the other injury.
He said it.
He was a sitting duck when we played them, and we crushed the Bengals that day. He was not ready to come back. With Cincinnati, listen, I can be unbiased when it comes to Cincy. I know it's hard for you because Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Listen, Joe Burrow injury history, well documented. Cincinnati just lost their offensive coordinator to us. He's our head coach now. They lost Tyler Boyd, which was a big piece to how that offense ran. we can't rule out the fact that they could still lose T. Higgins to a trade. Like, that could still happen, guys. T. Higgins could still get traded. So when you really think about it, it's just the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow connection. A Joe Burrow that's still hindered by his injury. They don't have their number one cornerback anymore in Awuzie. He is with the Tennessee Titans as well. We took their game plan and brought it to Tennessee. We are the Tennessee Bengals right now. So what's left of Cincinnati to where they can still look like that Cincinnati Bengals team that has been one of the more dominant forces on the AFC side the last 3 years? If you take Joey B out of the equation, you've got Jake Browning, who was serviceable, but again, serviceable is not what the bar is for the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals want to win the North. They want to win the AFC. They want to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. And are they going to be able to do that? Or does regression hit this Cincinnati Bengals team? Bengals window closed already. I mean, it happens fast in the NFL, bro. Like, guys, a lot of times your football teams sneak through the cracks. And when nobody expected anything from them, they go on a run, they get to the playoffs, sometimes they go to the Super Bowl. That wasn't even your window. You didn't expect for that to happen. So with the teams that have the expectations, we give these teams 2 to 3 years, right? Where we say that's their window. And sometimes that window shuts after 2 years. You don't get that third year. On the AFC side, there's a lot going on. You know, your spot is not going to be your spot. We just talked about Kansas City and the odds of them being able to three-peat. Like, the odds are less likely for every other AFC team to be just as successful if the Super Bowl champs can't make it back to the Super Bowl, right? It's going to be just as tough for everybody. It's going to be tough for Jacksonville to go out there and to win the South again. You know, the AFC North, it's a 4-team race, whether anybody wants to, you know, accept it or not. That's how it is in the North side. They all beat each other up. You've got the AFC West. It's still the Chiefs. You know, the question is which team out of the other three is going to give the Chiefs some competition so that doesn't. Side note, Celtics advancing. Yeah. You know, no Donovan Mitchell tonight. 2 nights in a row. He's the heartbeat of the Cavaliers. You know, without Donovan Mitchell, it was, you know, slim pickings. Boston advances. They're the first team to make it to the Final Four.
It's official?
Yeah, 108-94. Oh, no. I don't know what the score is right now. That's the last time I saw the score. But yeah.
Yeah, 113-98.
They showed some fight. You know, they showed some moxie. All that matters is that my no-sweat parlay
No
hit.
Mitchell, no LeVert, no Jared Allen.
Yeah, they were understaffed like a ton of
decimated.
Oh.
And they only lost by 5 yesterday.
And now we talk about the possibility of no Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland next year.
That talk's going to get very loud now.
This was kind of it, right? For him and
that talk is going to pick up even more than what it was.
Carry the team.
Do I think that should be the move? No.
But, like, if you're the Cavs, what are you thinking right now? If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you know that LeBron James is available. You know LeBron James is available. And he was at the playoff game the other night in Cleveland. And they were saying, come back home, or whatever they were saying. The fan base wants it. If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers,
I'm coming home. Tell the world.
Are you crazy enough to go to Atlanta and be like, hey, what do you want for that pick? Because we want that pick.
So we can pick Bronny?
Like, that, this could be the self-destruction of the Cavaliers as we know it completely. We knew you were going to lose to the Boston Celtics. But now the question is, okay, now what are you going to do this offseason? Like, temptation is staring you right in the face. Like, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it again? Are you going to do this to the people and the city? Like, are you willing to put yourselves through this? Like,
well, at least I got a quality start on Lopez. Does he have to win the game too to get the quality start?
Does not have to win the game. You just have to 3 runs or less.
All right, well,
3 runs or less.
I hope Minnesota takes them out so I can get the quality start.
If they pull them, then you keep the quality start. If they leave them out there for too long and we keep tagging them up,
I heard
you
a
could
rumor
potentially
today that the
lose it.
Mavericks are possibly interested in drafting Bronny James. But how can you
Mavericks,
justify Bronny James being a number 1 pick?
3-0 Yankees, bottom of the 6th. Everybody can't be the Knicks. Well, the Cavs definitely not, because they're going to put themselves in one of the craziest sweepstakes ever.
Ranger wins again, 8-0.
Not only acquire LeBron James, but then go and draft his son too, all in one offseason. That is nasty work, bro. That is nasty work.
Woo!
You kidding me?
Already got my 5th save of the year.
Of the week?
I mean, of the week, yeah.
My bad. That's rough, buddy. That's tough. Dang, they took a stolen base.
Seawald gave me a save. Munoz gave me a save. I see, y'all don't realize I got 2 closers, boy. Really 3. I got Bednar from Pittsburgh. I got Anthony Munoz from Seattle, and I got Seawald from Arizona.
You know what's crazy? My team in the other baseball league is so much better. Like the production, 4 home runs today. Marcus Semien blasting another one. I'm absolutely destroying this guy. Pillar to post.
And that's with me having I'm beating poor Rob with Velasquez and Yelich both,
Poor
sitting.
Rob, he's the best team in the freaking league, or second best, right?
Anthony
got the
Rizzo,
best record.
Come on, guy.
Poor Rob. The guy's been winning
Bryce.
all season long quietly. Oh,
Aaron Judge gave me another home run.
Judge hit a bomb. I did another.
Andrew's letting us know in the group chat. Ranger danger.
I did another parlay where I did Aaron Judge home run, Yankees money line. Looking good so far. Just need us to finish it out and beat the Twins like we normally do. I don't know. Oh yeah, the freaking. All right, so if we win today, we'd still just be only up half a game on Baltimore for first place in the East.
Oof. I got 13 RBIs. He's only got 3.
3 on the week so far?
Yeah.
Oh, this team's taking the week off then, huh? That's crazy.
I got
it's
2
the
wins.
Ebbs and flows, though.
I got
guys.
2 wins. He has none. I got 5 saves. He has none. I have 3 quality starts. He has 2.
I meant to mention it in the group chat earlier, but fantasy baseball is just one long game of tug of war. And you're trying to pool to your side as many categories as possible without giving away categories at the same time. Like, you're trying to pool and keep those categories, and you're just going.
Noli, I know you're watching, and I know we've been tag teaming everybody lately, especially when me and you were like torturing the Giants fans earlier. But I need the Dominators to lose this week. I need that 1 seed.
The Diamond Doorknobs?
I need that 1 seed.
It's been a battle between him and I so far. It's definitely a back and forth between the two of us.
That it has.
Both of our hitting is kind of His pitching is okay, but it ain't better than mine. So as long as I can continue to hit every day, I like my chances. According to him, he was going to whoop my ass this week, but I think he's finding it harder to be able to do that now.
He did say that.
Because now we're in day 3, so we'll see, man. Still plenty of time. Never want to count your eggs too soon. Never want to make that mistake. Fantasy football, things can change on a whim. One major rain delay can destroy an entire lineup, depending on how you drafted and who you have. So yeah, man.
We're watching right now the Jaguars release video for their schedule.
They're going with Marvel.
Yeah.
I think that some of the wind is let out of the sails of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
After last season and how it ended. If anything, they ended the season as flat as the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who's
did.
Wolverine?
Number
41.
Allen?
That's got to be Allen.
Yeah. I never bought into the hype with Jacksonville. Even more so now. We ended their season. What am I talking about? They didn't make the playoffs. We eliminated them from the playoffs. I'm sorry. Revisionist history, folks. Like, I'm sitting here just because so many people were talking about how the Jaguars were going to run the South last year, running their mouths, saying they were picking them as the favorites. They're going to win the division. They didn't even make the playoffs. Thanks to the Tennessee Titans. It was only the Houston Texans that made the playoffs.
And division. Trevor Lawrence is Cyclops.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. We'll see. The division is not there. I hate to break it to you. Spoiler alert. I think the Texans are taking the South this year. So I don't know where that leaves Jacksonville. I gave a barometer of more or less where the Titans are going to be. But I don't know what the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be this year. I don't know. They ain't got Ridley. Who's their number one who's their number one out there? Christian Kirk?
Yeah, he was Quicksilver.
Okay, yeah. And where does Quicksilver rank among the Avengers? Okay. All right. Cool story. Cool story, Jacksonville. I'll believe it when I see it. Buckle up, Duval, because the Titans are coming.
Duval!
It just kills me, bro. It kills
me.
They
stomped on the terrible town, didn't win a game for the rest of the year.
They got their asses eliminated by the Tennessee Titans. That's really all I remember. So, you're facing the NFC East this year. I know you're excited. I know it's too soon to give your predictions, but how are you feeling overall about all four matchups? What's your level of confidence going into these matchups?
3-1.
Oof, that's super confident. Okay, there we go.
3-1.
With that one being Dallas?
Between Dallas or Philly. And that'll break my heart if it's Philly.
Let's get ready, because the shit's going to fall on you if it's Philly. Prepare yourself.
Hey,
eat a hearty
all I'm
breakfast that
saying,
day.
Philly,
listen.
You better hope Jalen don't get hurt.
That Monday morning.
Because you got Kenny. I don't want to hear nothing. I heard all the jokes from Eagles fans about Kenny Mittens all these last 2 years.
You heard it from me, too.
So, if Jalen gets hurt and Kenny's your quarterback,
if you guys lose to the Eagles,
he ain't beating us.
Eat a hearty breakfast. You know what you're going to walk into at work because you know you got Birds fans at work. You know what the forum's going to be like. You know what the group chat's going to be like. So
I'm the administrator.
Just,
I'll mute everyone.
Just brace yourself.
I'll mute every last forum member that's an Eagles fan.
I'll find a way to get to you.
I will mute you for 7 days.
You'll be getting random phone calls. Listen,
I will mute you off my personal page.
I will unmute you if he tries to mute you on the forum. I believe in free speech. If you can't handle it, then don't dish it out. That's always been my motto.
Look at me.
So
if you've been watching X-Men, I'm Bastion. Remember that.
he had a rough day today. His jaw was all like he looked like Two-Face.
Yeah, he did.
His eye was popping out. I was like, damn, dog. Like they were beating your ass. Like, hey, buddy, it's over, kid. Like, it's over.
We're live now.
I'm sorry.
No spoilers,
sorry, Chris. I will.
Chris, how haven't you seen it yet?
These guys take forever, bro. You know how it is.
What are you waiting for?
No. He told me he was waiting for his girl. They've been watching it together, so I respect that. He's not trying to watch it. I mean, it's their thing. They're watching it together. Everybody's invested in the storyline. Somebody else that commented on my page says that they, with their significant other on Sunday mornings for breakfast, they watch the new episode. So you want to talk about
what is this, 92?
I mean, hey, it's their thing, bro. It's how they do it. I mean, it's just credit to them. I was watching that shit at 9 a.m. today. I was up. I was like, oh, here we go. I was up at 9 in the morning talking shit and watching X-Men. That's what I was doing. Because Andrew wanted to run his mouth too, so I had to put him in his place. And I said to myself, you know what? It's been 40 minutes already. I'm not going back to sleep. X-Men 97 it up. I need answers. Who's here and who's not? Oh, he's been waiting. He's waiting for it to settle in. So he's got it on Disney Plus right now.
Well, did you hear the announcement that Marvel Studios is now split up into 3 divisions.
4-0 Yankees, baby.
Damn, I hope they took Lopez out.
Yeah, it's 7. Maybe they did.
Marvel Studios today announced they are separated in 3 divisions.
Okay.
There's Marvel Studios for films. That all that division is concentrated on is films, movies that hit the theaters. You know, they're going to start, quality over quantity. Then
Okay.
there's Marvel Animation. Those people are only to worry about the animation part. And you can thank X-Men 97 for that.
You could thank them for a lot of things.
Yep. And then there's Marvel TV. Those people are only worried about what's going on the streaming site.
Chris, no, he did not. Little Jimmy is still down 0-11 to Mud Dog Waters. He still has yet to win a category. So even with Ranger Soar's brilliant performance, Little Jimmy.
It wasn't a quality start because he only was 5 innings.
Little Jimmy's getting dragged right now, bro. He is getting dragged.
So now you got 3 divisions, and I heard that Daredevil, because the first 6 episodes were done, Marvel seen them, and they said this isn't gonna work. So they reshot most of those episodes over.
This is the drizzling shits.
Yeah. And from what I read is that Daredevil Born Again has a lot of inspiration coming from X-Men 97.
Okay.
And that X-Men 97 is a huge hit within Marvel right now. It's been greenlit. It's already season 2. Lenore, I forget her last name. Lenore just finished finishing up her audio session as Rogue for season 2. This was earlier in the week. She had an interview. So now they're just final mixing. You got to strike while it's hot, while the iron's hot.
How about the report that came out last week about Chris Evans reprising his role as Captain America, where they're going to do a series where he's returning the stones.
Each stone, yeah, it's 6 episodes of each stone.
So we'll be seeing a lot of shit there because remember he's time travel. He's going to different places. They're in different time periods to put the stones exactly back where he found them, which means another encounter with Red Skull, right? He's going to all those places. Like, how is he going to deal with going there? Because to go, you have to sacrifice somebody, right? Like, you can't just go up there and leave. You can't just leave. Like,
when he returned the stone.
How's that going to work for the Red Stone? That's going to be interesting, and it's going to be cool to see him back in his role.
And then we'll find out what happened because no, I won't.
No, I don't think I will.
You will now, buddy.
My ERA went to shit between Michael King and
I'm sorry, we're not saying
Valdez uses the sticky stuff and goes crazy. Speaking of the sticky stuff, Raniel Blanco suspended for 10 games because of I don't know what they found in his glove. He's my pitcher in the other league, and it says sus next to his name. Of course, we know the Astros have been sus. Shout out to the little guy. The ump who checked his glove said, and I quote, that's one of the stickiest things that I have found in a glove since we started doing this, checking the gloves in between innings. So, unfortunately, once again, the Astros find themselves embroiled in, a sticky situation again. Nonetheless, he's suspended 10 games. If you have him in fantasy baseball, he's been pitching well this year so far. So maybe he's worth the hold. You just treat him like he's an IL guy. Just know it hinders you from using a bench spot, or you just drop him if you need him. If you need somebody else, you drop his ass and go pick somebody else up. But yeah, as of right now, I guess Valdez is having a rough game too. They're playing the Athletics, right? They're playing the Athletics. Michael King got dog walked earlier by the Colorado Rockies are on fire, bro. When's the last time I said that? The Colorado Rockies are on fire. They have been beating up the Padres the last couple of days. They beat them up again today. They don't even have good pitching like that. It's just been their lineup. Ryan McMahon. Oh, shit, Matt. Matt with the Oscar, you want Nola? Oh, boy. That means check your inbox because he probably sent you some crazy shit.
Probably sent me Nola for Judge.
You Nola. He posed the question to you. So we'll see. We shall see as far as that goes. Lo Plata Pluma is going up against Seth. Two worst teams in the league going head to head.
And it ain't pretty, folks.
It ain't pretty at all, man. It has to happen though. It's part of the game. And I'm waiting on my Dodgers to hit the field a little bit later.
Max Scherzer got dropped.
Damn, it's cold out here in these streets. It's cold. I'm sitting here contemplating a trade that I was sent in Dynasty. A lot to think about as we reach the. Don't even waste your time, Oscar. Yeah, Chris is done with Matt. A lot to think about, a lot to digest with a lot going on tonight in sports. Next week, we'll do a little bit of a preview of what's to come with the draft that we have coming up that weekend. A little bit of a Dynasty preview, breaking down the league, the members, talking about draft positions, any potential trades that go down, and any more news and updates that we have, including an Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals breakdown, because next week we'll be down to the Final Four for a trip to the NBA Finals. Will the Knicks
Message me?
I don't know. Just send me something, and we'll work from there. I wasn't really looking to move on from that pick.
He's already got the second pick, and he wants the third pick now?
I'll take the second pick for the third pick. How's that? I like where I'm at as far as the draft, but I won't rule anything out. We can always negotiate. I know you have some draft capital after the trade that you did with Nick, so you let me know. If I don't watch X-Men, I'll be in the group chat afterwards, Knicks in 7. Yeah, then we can talk about it, because the other guys aren't going to know what we're talking about, and Mikey said he doesn't care because he's going to end up watching it later on, so it's technically not spoilers for him.
Mikey started episode 1.
Yeah.
Of 92.
yeah, he's watching the old shit, so he's gonna take him forever. He's gonna watch that shit sometime next year. Knicks don't beat Pacers Friday. That OG might be a go for Game 7. Something interesting to look forward to. Nonetheless, the next time that we go live, that series is gonna be done. So we're either going to be here with the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals and New York fans potentially taking over the podcast, or somehow Indy comes back, wins Game 7, and it's gonna be a shit show. But nonetheless, that's the beauty of it. We're here front and center, ready to dish it all out, talk shit, embrace it, have a little bit of fun, keeping up with the scores while we're live. We're doing the watch-alongs. Today was football. Next week, it'll probably be basketball, baseball again. Shout out to the group chat. Shout out to all the G-Men fans who were tuned in the entire time. Chris, Matt, Magoo, Mikey, Drewski,
RJ,
Rose, RJ, all the guys that were checked in, talking sports with us. Julio, of course. Thank you for the photo edits each and every week, as you always do. I'm either going to be here or hiding under my bed. That will not be a good look. I think you guys finish it in Game 6, but who knows?
Chris, there's a credit scene, so make sure you stay and finish.
Yeah, you gotta watch it all.
Except
no cheating.
Don't stay for the foreign credits. There's nothing for that.
No cheating. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, another episode in the books of On the Money podcast. Shout out to everybody who was tuned in last week and all the viewership that we got for last week's episode. You guys must have really enjoyed it. I truly appreciate it. I don't know what it was, but we were cooking and I was loving it. Tonight feels no different. You have a good night, Chris. Enjoy X-Men. Hit us up later on in the chat. You know I'll be up late, making moves, watching what everybody's doing, trying to figure out some trades, figuring out if I'm going to accept the trade that I was just offered in Dynasty. Nonetheless, folks, always a pleasure. You guys have a good week, man. Peace.
See you guys. You can answer that question in the group chat.